Robots are people too, you know? And just like us, they have families. So, it's time to jump to the year 200X and tackle the Blue Bomber with the Megaman family tree. We're sticking to the three major inventors of the Megaman and Megaman X series, Dr. Light, Dr. Wily, and Dr. Cain. Sorry, Battle Network fans, no Megaman.exe this time. But tell you what, if you want to see more Megaman, let me know by subscribing to the leaderboard. And if you don't, subscribe anyway. See, Dr. Light and Dr. Wily were both brilliant scientists who graduated with doctorate degrees from the Robot Institute of Technology. Dr. Light won the esteemed Nobel Prize, beating out his friend and colleague, Dr. Wily. Light, the ultimate philanthropist, went on to design brilliant civil service robots to help with the world's most dangerous industrial tasks. By then, Wily was sick of Light besting him at every turn. His simmering jealousy finally came to a boil, so he decided to take over the world by hijacking Light's civil service robots and reprogramming them for evil. Thankfully, Dr. Light had a few more creations on deck, ready to do battle against his own repurposed creations. Dr. Light creations. Megaman. Though we know Megaman as the Blue Bomber, he started out more as a blue busboy. Yeah, Dr. Light originally designed him as a humble lab assistant with the harmless appearance of a 10-year-old boy named Rock. However, when Dr. Wily started wreaking havoc, Dr. Light realized that he needed to fight back against his rival to save the world. Rock was a good old boy and volunteered to be reconstructed into a lean, mean fighting machine to fight against Wily's, or, Light's monstrosities. Thus, Megaman was born. He defeated the likes of Gutsman and Iceman before taking down Dr. Wily himself. Megaman went on to rinse and repeat this adventure through 11 numbered titles, Megaman and Base, and more handheld and console adventures. Megaman is known for his jumping and Mega Buster shooting abilities, but his adaptability is what makes him truly iconic. He can steal the weapons of robot masters he defeats, greatly expanding his arsenal and color palette, of course. So he's basically a mechanical version of Kirby, albeit slightly less adorable. Well, actually, Kirby came after Mega Man, so I guess that makes Kirby a squishy, bioorganic version of Mega Man. Copying abilities aside, Mega Man also acquired the ability to slide in his third adventure, perfect for sliding safely into home plate. Too bad baseball isn't quite his sport. He much prefers soccer. Come on, Dr. Light, reprogram him to like baseball. I can only imagine what an amazing pitcher he'd be with a literal arm cannon. Roll. Dr. Light thought it would be cruel to create an only child, so when he invented Rock, he also invented a sister, Roll. I mean, he also needed a housekeeper, so I guess he's not quite as philanthropic as he'd like us to think. You know what they say, behind every crackpot inventor is a robot forced to conform to antiquated gender roles. Poor Roll is always running around stressed about laundry or cleaning or something like that. Still, she's an adorable sister and a fan favorite. She often gives Mega Man advice and helps run Dr. Light's shop in later titles, offering Mega Man all kinds of power-ups. For a price. Pretty sneaky, sis. But she's not completely useless in combat, as she proved in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Okay, so she's objectively the weakest character in that game, but what'd you expect? She was never designed for combat, so she could never match the strength of her brother. Proto Man. But Roll wasn't the only sibling Dr. Light created. In fact, Mega Man and Roll have an older brother. That's right, before making his kind-hearted lab assistant and housekeeper, Dr. Light created a more powerful sentient robot as a prototype, Proto Man. Trouble is, Proto Man was a little too sentient. He refused to let Dr. Light upgrade him and his flawed energy core and ran away. Even worse, Dr. Light made little to no effort to find him. Proto Man was low on energy and down for the count. Dr. Wily found him and fixed him up. That's not all, he also souped him up with some combat upgrades to do evil stuff. So I guess Proto Man is in both the Light and Wily family. This modification process is what inspired Dr. Wily to tinker with Light's other creations and create the Robot Masters. If only Dr. Light didn't abandon his first son. Wily also gave Proto Man a visor to hide his identity from Dr. Light. Proto Man first appeared in Mega Man 3, fighting for Dr. Wily as an enemy. His powers are comparable to Mega Man, but he's also got heightened defense thanks to his awesome shield. But by the next game, Proto Man completely turned against Wily, figuring his debts were paid. Don't get it twisted though, he's not on Dr. Light's side. He never truly trusted his neglectful father, and, I don't blame him. At least he often offered advice and combat assistance to his buddy Mega Man though. Rush. Proto Man is a good friend, but he's a little fly-by-night. Thanks to his free will, he only shows up when it's convenient for him. A working man like Mega Man needs someone a little more reliable. That's why his best friend and the ultimate good boy, Rush, is much closer to his heart. Rush is a robot dog created by Dr. Light to help out Mega Man with his most difficult platforming challenges. So I guess that technically makes Rush another sibling of Rock and Roll. Anyway, Rush shines in the limelight by turning into a spring, jet, submarine, and more to help Mega Man get to hard-to-reach switch places, depending on the circumstances. He's also there to give him a little affection at the end of a long day, with the caress of steel. Oh, and in Mega Man 7, Rush can meld with Mega Man to create Super Mega Man to fight against bass and treble. Mega Man X. Mega Man always got the job done, but Light decided that he could create an even more Mega Man known as X. Sure, X is more powerful, but what really sets him apart is his ability to think and grow even more independently than OG Mega Man. But since this natural growth would result in a slow maturation process, Light put X into stasis so that the powerful robot wouldn't be a threat to the world during his angsty teenage years. 100 years later, in 21XX, Dr. Cain discovered X and woke him up. Using X as a framework, Cain created similarly powerful robots called Reploids. Trouble is, Cain wasn't as wise as Light, so the Reploids lacked ethical code standards and eventually turned Maverick. To take them down, X joined the Maverick Hunters, but not as a top-tier fighter. See, he was always the being with the ultimate potential, but showed too much hesitation in his early fighting days. But he'd fulfill his potential as the world savior as the X series carried on, defeating bounties of Reploids and more of Dr. Cain's inventions that later turned sour like Sigma. Don't worry, much more on that stuff later. X went on to defeat Omega during the Elf Wars, then founded Neo Arcadia. But because his many battles and struggles took a physical and mental toll on him, he retired from this leadership. But instead of fishing or golfing, he spent his retirement sealing away the Dark Elf by sacrificing his body. He continued to help his friend Zero through his own adventures, living on as a cyber elf. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Dr. Wily Creations. Robot Masters. Like I said before, Dr. Wily used the lessons he learned from modifying Proto Man to manipulate more of Light's civil servant robots. These robots' purposes started out pretty simple enough. Cut Man was originally used for forestry, Bomb Man and Guts Man for demolition and construction, Fire Man for waste incineration, Elect Man for voltage control and power plants, and Ice Man for subarctic work. These practical machines could also technically be considered other siblings of Mega Man, so I guess they're part of both trees. But their more noble brother brought their demise once they turned on him and Dr. Light. With those guys scrapped, Dr. Wily created his own Robot Masters in the sequel, including Metal Man and Quick Man. This new batch was specifically designed to fight against Mega Man, so you can imagine how embarrassed Wily was when Mega Man beat them too. The third game's robots, including Needle Man and Magnet Man, were actually joint creations of Light and Wily, with both combat and civil purposes. Wily convinced Light that he turned a new leaf, but come on, Doc, how'd you fall for that? I mean, one of them is named Snake Man. Mega Man 4's Robot Masters were technically made by Dr. Cossack, but that's because Wily kidnapped him and forced him to build them. The robots in Mega Man 5 were Wily's own homebrew creations, but 6's were made by scientists from all over the world. Wily got his mitts on them by rallying them together for the first annual robot tournament, all under the guise of Mr. X. Mega Man 7 and 8's Masters were again mostly created by Wily, but 9's were actually OG Light robots refurbished. 10 and 11's Robot Masters manufacturers also hailed from around the world. You've got Bounce Man and Sheep Man. Yeah, I guess Wily finally ran out of ideas. Bass and treble. After going through 6 games of Robot Masters, Wily figured it was probably a good idea to specialize in one super robot that could truly rival the Blue Bomber. It would be just like Proto Man, but Wily would build him from the ground up. Enter Bass. Brash and arrogant instead of noble and kind, and determined to become the world's strongest robot. At first, Bass starts out as an awesome invention, breaking Wily out of prison and blowing up Light's lab. But of course, he eventually turns against Wily, his one-track mind ultimately screwing over his creator. See, according to Bass, being the best robot ever means that Wily's other inventions are pure trash, so he adamantly looks down on them. He even mistrusts Wily's ability for, creating them in the first place. Furthermore, if Bass is the best, he can defeat Mega Man himself. Okay, so he has help from Treble. Just like Mega Man and Rush, Bass can fuse with Treble to become even more powerful. Still, he doesn't need some second-rate tinkerer like Wily. Mega Man beats Bass, but that doesn't stop him from always trying to prove he's better. Eventually, he swallows his pride and teams up with Mega Man to stop Wily's latest creation gone rogue, King of the Robots. Turns out Wily created King as a test for Bass, but this monarch is no match for the Mega Man foil. So with Proto Man, Bass, and King all gone awry, Wily desperately tries one more time to create a super evil rival for Mega Man. So he created the ultra-powerful Zero, but of course, this masterpiece still can't follow any orders. Just like Dr. Gero did to Android 16, 17, and 18, Wily deemed Zero too dangerous to control and sealed him away indefinitely. Much later, Reploids discovered and revived Zero, but he quickly destroyed them. Zero was a serious threat, so once he was labeled a Maverick, the Hunters tracked him down and tried to defeat him. Even though they had him cornered, most proved to be no match. Only their commander, Sigma, was able to take him on mano-a-mano. It was a tough battle, but Sigma destroyed the crystal on Zero's head, defeating him, but leaving them susceptible to the Maverick virus. virus. Dr. Cain nursed Zero back to health, and when he was revived, he no longer had all those evil intentions he originally had. From here, he went on to become an elite Maverick hunter, so elite that he never betrayed the world with Sigma and went on as the ultimate ally and somewhat of a mentor to X, even as his fellow Maverick hunters fell to the dark. X and Zero's adventures continued throughout the long and numerous Maverick Wars, and the two finally defeated Omega during the Elf Wars. But once Zero realized he was the origin of the Maverick virus that caused so much continued destruction, he sealed himself away. He was later revived to save a group of Reploids from Copy X's cruel discriminatory policies. Again, it's a whole thing, and a great series. Dr. Cain Creations. Maverick Hunters. In 21XX, Dr. Cain made all sorts of Reploids. Once they turned Maverick, Cain decided to fight fire with fire and created more robots as an army of soldiers. I guess since they were based on X's design, they're like grandchildren of the Dr. Light tree branch? Anyway, these Maverick Hunters were as diverse as Wily and Light's inventions, though slightly more creatively named and often based on animals. You've got the likes of Chill Penguin, Flame Stag, Neon Tiger, Magnus Centipede, and of course, Boomer Kuwanger. Just really wanted to say that. Although they're perfect soldiers, their nobility waned when they joined their commander in rebelling against humanity. Sigma. Sigma is Dr. Cain's ultimate creation. He started out as a good guy, winning countless battles against Mavericks and even defeating Zero, but that fight weakened him and left him susceptible to the Maverick virus. Eventually, the Maverick virus made its way into his system, becoming known as the Sigma virus. This not only made Sigma view humans as a threat to Reploid advancement, but also allowed Sigma to control most Reploids. He launched a war against humanity and successfully turned even the Maverick hunters against us. At least X and Zero were still on our side, and worked together to stop Sigma and his Maverick hunters. Like 8 times. That's what's so dangerous about Sigma. His programming is always revived and he always returns more sinister than ever. There's Neo Sigma, Kaiser Sigma, even Hell Sigma. He's extremely adaptable, and even worse, stubborn. Vile. We can't mention the Maverick Hunters without mentioning Vile. Unlike other Maverick Hunters who needed Sigma's manipulation to turn evil, Vile was always rebellious. He would recklessly endanger his comrades and humanity during missions. As such, his natural disdain for humans made him perfect to become Sigma's right-hand robot. Still, Vile wasn't there to follow orders. He's just along for the ride to wreak havoc. In fact, his ultimate plan is to usurp Sigma, but never gets the opportunity since X or Zero beat him in all 3 of his appearances throughout the series: X, X3, and X8. So that covers the 3 Doctors' inventions, but there's so much more to the diverse Megaman series. Seriously, Battle Network has an entire separate cyber universe. So subscribe and let us know what you want to see. All suggestions and players are welcome here. I've been your host Marcus for The Leaderboard. Thanks for watching.